South Jamaica, baby, they made me to be the greatest. Serving the deed of my creators. Fresh off of my high haters. It's the king again. Magdalene, chauffeured, bragging and boasting.
Yo, what up, y'all? It's your boy Dollars. Welcome back to the channel. It's another late night reaction. And this time we got the secret business of 3M/CLE tow truck wars. This was a video that a lot of y'all mentioned a while back ago. Y'all wanted me to react to this. I know that probably this is gonna have something to do with that song that I reacted to called Notorious. It was 3M French and Genghis Khan, and they made that song for one of their friends that got killed, supposedly an OG. And I think this video explains some of that. So I don't want to keep y'all waiting. Let's just hop in this joint. Let's check it out, man. It seems interesting right here, man.
Police call it Project Kraken, and it is a takedown of the
Unleash
Chester
the
Lee
Kraken.
gang in Toronto.
They're part of a larger Toronto police investigation that's looking into a gang with roots here in the Chester Lee community of Scarborough. Police believe
Chester
that
Lee,
this
that's what-
gang has
okay.
been trafficking large amounts of a highly dangerous drug.
Tow truck drivers shot, 4 of them fatally.
Wow.
Vehicles torched. Today, police revealed 4 organized crime.
Yeah, I was about to say, if they doing that to tow truck drivers, like people that are just everyday workers that probably don't even know what the hell's going on. Well, they probably gotta know. They gotta know what they fucking transporting. That's definitely organized crime. That's like some mafia shit.
4 of them fatally. Vehicles torched. Today, police revealed
Torching
4
vehicles?
organized crime groups are wreaking havoc on the
4?
Toronto area towing scene.
Hey guys, in today's video we're going to talk about CLE's secretive and potentially most profitable source of income. It might sound like a joke at first. When I first found out about it, I was laughing too, but it's actually really deep and legit. CLE has had a reputation for really being in the streets for a long time now. Yet unlike other large gangs in Toronto, we don't really hear about them losing too many guys to other gangs. They seem to be a lot more low-key about what they do in the streets than other gangs. 3M French says himself that he doesn't like being labeled as a rapper because he believes that he isn't one and it's just something that he's good at. He says that M is more than just music, and that's what makes it so much more interesting. They do some unexpected illegal activities to make money, but the more you think and learn about it, it makes perfect sense. Frenchie isn't lying when he says they're really doing things behind the scenes.
You know the dogs in the
Why 3M French look like he motherfucking 15 right there? Man look mad young in this video.
It makes it so much more interesting. They do some unexpected illegal activities to make money, but the more you think and learn about it, it makes perfect sense. Frenchie isn't lying when he says they're really doing things behind the scenes.
You know the dogs and the demons, they're in the cut, fam. I'm saying, yeah, fam. You know the behind the scenes, fam. You know how that shit go.
Let's get right into it. The towing industry in Toronto has had an ongoing under-the-radar war for over 20 years involving tow truck drivers and organized criminal gangs, including groups like CLE. The unregulated nature of the towing industry means literally anyone can become a tow truck driver, since it doesn't require a special license. And of the 444 municipalities in Ontario, just 17 have tow truck bylaws and regulations, according to the Canadian Automobile Association. Also, the profit in a potential crash goes far beyond just tows. Since a car that has been in a crash typically needs repair work and the driver might need physiotherapy, it is a known fact that these businesses pay the towers to bring them customers. As a result of this, one single car could revenue thousands of dollars, and this isn't even the most profitable part, or the illegal part. Fraud, arson, robberies, and distribution of drugs and weapons are. We'll get into that later on in the video.
Of course.
The towing business is a—
Come on, man. You know it's not just one thing. If there's a scheme going on, believe me, they're using that one scheme to hash out 10 other different schemes out of that one scheme, brother. That's a fact. You know, that's the nature of criminals, bro. They're not just gonna stop at one crime. They're gonna use that shit and maximize it to their potential.
Fraud, arson, robberies, and distribution of drugs and weapons are. We'll get into that later on in the video. The towing business is a perfect environment for criminals to thrive in, due to the large amounts of money to be made and the lack of supervision from authorities. Over the past 2 years, the police have been trying hard to disrupt these groups, arresting hundreds of people in raids.
Obviously, it's not that unsupervised if you know about it and you're doing a video about it. Obviously, they're starting to get hip and privy to these little schemes.
Environment for criminals to thrive in, due to the large amounts of money to be made and the lack of supervision from authorities. Over the past 2 years, the police have been trying hard to disrupt these groups, arresting hundreds of people in raids. big ones happening both in 2019 and 2020, such as Operation Project Kraken that took place in June of 2019. This operation was targeting what they called a coordinated criminal organization, the Chesterley Gang, CLE for short. Since with gun violence, fentanyl distribution, and tow trucks, there was one common similarity, CLE. It was an operation that included a list of 30 different cases of arson, lasted many months, and allowed investigators to be able to allege that the Chesterley Gang was involved in extensive gun and drug activity. Investigators were also able to allege that numerous members of this gang committed armed robberies while having a complete disregard for public safety. An investigator said that in 2 robberies, tow trucks smashed into jewelry stores and then shots were fired. The operation resulted in 599 charges being laid against 73 different people, including 7 tow truck drivers. Police say that they seized 23 firearms with a street value
599 charges. Yeah, that's like Rico.
Charges being laid against 73 different people,
Gotta
including 7 tow truck drivers. Police say that they seized 23 firearms with a street value of $85,000 and narcotics with a street value of more than $390,000, along with over $92,000 in cash, more than 1.05 kilograms of cocaine, 1.1 kilogram of fentanyl, 1.1 kilogram of clonazepam, and over 840 grams of Percocet were seized.
Oh my God, 840 grams of perk? God, bro. Let me meet the connect one. Let me stop, bro. I don't know. I might risk it all for perk connect.
1 kilogram of clonazepam and over 840 grams of Percocet were seized. This is a serious bust.
Bro, I could make a killing right now. I ain't gonna hold y'all with that. If I had my hand, nothing. I'm just bullshit. I'm bullshitting YouTube.
And only one of many. Finding that many guns, drugs, and that much money implies that the war runs a lot deeper than just the surface. The same investigators before also alleged that many of the seized firearms were from tow truck drivers, who armed themselves ready to shoot rival tow truck drivers over an ongoing battle over territory. Also, an interesting arrest came from this operation. One of the people charged as a result of this operation was a 74-year-old Cosimo Comiso along with his relatives, known by police for being a mafia leader in Toronto.
Damn.
He and his relatives were charged for conspiracy to commit municipal corruption since they were allegedly attempting to influence a decision on a
municipal corruption. Now, I don't know too much about that, but it sounds like they was bribing somebody, municipal, a judge or a politician. Yeah, they were bribing somebody, probably for lesser sentencing. Who knows?
Charged for conspiracy to commit municipal corruption since they were allegedly attempting to influence a decision on an approved use for a commercial property in relation to a cannabis facility. Pretty interesting stuff. The tow truck wars were actually so deep that there were dirty cops involved. A Toronto police constable.
Son, this just sound like something you could make a movie about. Like tow truck wars or some shit. Like definitely have the mafia in it and tow truck. Like it'll be an interesting movie to watch.
Who had been with the Toronto police for 11 years was corrupt and helped CLE with their tow truck ventures. He had provided the tow truck companies with 3 stolen police radars, allowing the tow truckers to listen into police conversations to get the heads up on where and when they were coming, and also to get early information on car accidents that were happening to get an advantage in the business. Believe it or not, the police constable is deeper into the legal tow trucking business than just providing them with police equipment. He also actually owned a car rental service and also 2 trucks being operated by members of the group. Shit's getting crazy. Another operation took place in May of 2020 and went by the name of Project Platinum. This operation led to nearly 200 charges, including a charge for first-degree murder. These charges were against members of several organized crime groups working within the towing industry. According to Toronto Police, the towing industry and its lack of regulations has caused the Greater Toronto Area to be the scene of violence between rival tow truck companies for a long time. Several organized crime groups working within the tow truck industry have been using violence and property damage as a way to gain control and territory in order to maximize profits from the revenue of towing vehicles and the most lucrative part of it all, the frauds that come after the initial tow. Over time, towing companies have been finding ways to inflate prices and to victimize customers. Towing companies were partnering up together to keep prices high so they could continue to rip off customers, and in order to keep profits rising year after year, they would stage
Yeah, eventually shit like that's gonna lead to some federal investigations because they're gonna see that it's a lot of corruption going on and people are gonna get sick and tired of it.
clashes with drivers they recruited whenever they weren't making enough money. Tow companies were partnering up with auto repair shops and vehicle rental in order to carry out their frauds. And of course, since insurance companies don't want to be getting finessed out of their money from these companies committing fraud, they would hire law firms and try to sue them. Like this one, which was hired by insurance companies and later became the target of threats, violence, and extortion. At the end of Project Platinum, a total of 20 people were facing a combined 191 charges, including one charge of—
Hold up. Let's not gloss over that. Y'all got some balls if y'all gonna be threatening lawyers. Dudes that could legally know how to fuck you. Legally. That takes a whole nother level of boldness.
finessed out of their money from these companies committing fraud, they would hire law firms and try to sue them. Like this one, which was hired by insurance companies and later became the target of threats, violence, and extortion. At the end of Project Platinum, a total of 20 people were facing a combined 191 charges, including one charge of first-degree murder and 3 charges of attempted murder. Throughout the investigation, 11 tow trucks were seized, as well as 16 handguns, 13 shotguns, 9 rifles, 1 machine gun, 1 air pistol converted to a 22 cal pistol, 1 sawed-off shotgun, and 3 high-capacity drum magazines. Thousands of rounds of ammunition of various calibers were also seized by the police. Investigators seized 5 kilograms of fentanyl, 1.5 kilograms of cocaine, 1.25 kilograms of crystal methamphetamine, 1.5 kilograms of cannabis, and more than $500,000. Yet again, another huge bust. Now the joke of a war is starting to look a lot more serious. Arson was also a very large part of these very profitable and dangerous businesses. In the first 3 months of 2019, at least 10 tow trucks were torched and 5 tow truck drivers with connections to the tow war were shot, 2 killed in the Greater Toronto area. The shit is unbelievable. There's guys who are threatening and shooting each other to try and be the first one to arrive for a tow. It almost sounds fake, the craziness of the situation. But even though it's such a large problem in the city and is in business with so many organized criminal organizations, it is so underreported and unknown. The shootings and murder weren't even just on the job either. It was a regular thing to hear of tow truck drivers being killed at their homes. In 3M French's album Triple Threat, he made a song called Notorious with fellow Toronto rapper Genghis Khan. In the song, he raps about his dead friend who believed in and wanted the best for him, and how he wants to make it big to make him proud. The friend he was talking about was his manager, Caddy. He died in 2018 to tow truck drivers because of his ties with CLE and the Go Get 'Em gang. These drivers were ruthless. Leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, it helps out the channel so much. Also feel free to leave—
Alright, man, honestly I thought this video was gonna actually be like more informative about that situation, about his friend, you know. And yeah, they mentioned CLE, but it didn't really go too much into it, you know. It just said like basic shit. I thought they was gonna talk about his friend's story, because I thought that would have been more interesting to see what led up to his you know, fateful death, unfortunately. But yeah, I think that would have been a better story than this. I mean, it's interesting, don't get me wrong, to know that there's that situation happening over there over tow trucks, like out of all things, tow trucks. But yeah, man, I thought it would have been— I thought the video could have been better, you know. It is crazy though. You can make a movie about that shit. Alright, but you guys, y'all let me know what y'all think about this in the comments. If there's any other videos explaining that situation with 3M French's friend, I would like to see that and react to it. If you're new, drop a like, comment, subscribe. Follow me on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. It's your boy Dollars. I'm out.